All right, seeing some kokanee down at 60 feet. Even though it's still pretty bright out, I'm still going to charge up my glow stuff because at that depth, there's less available light. So some gear. There's fish spread from 40 to 60. I'll put the downrigger right around 55 feet. And then we'll try and target these fish closer to 45, 50 with snap weights at 4 ounces, which means I need to let out 110, 120 feet after snapping in. And there's fish. I had to go to a spinner. All right. Well, that was the key. So I've already released 2 dodgers with J&K. The first was a chub called Superficial that was designed to target fish near surface. Next came Goldilocks, which was an MK3 dodger blank designed to target those fish in that 20 to 50 foot range. And today, this video is featuring the third dodger that I'm releasing called Twilight Zone. So today I'm chasing fish in, some of these fish are as deep as 100 feet, but most of them are in the 50 to 60 foot range. And when you get down into that zone, that Twilight Zone, which is the name of this dodger, there's not a lot of available light and color. And so I wanted a dodger that would work to target fish deeper than 50 feet. Now, a lot of Kokanee Lakes fish aren't going to go deeper than 50 feet, but there are some lakes that don't stratify or weakly stratify, and so those fish will go deeper. Sometimes they'll go deeper to avoid predation, and there's other lakes where they actually go deeper to target specific food resources. So I know there are some lakes in Montana that the fish will go as deep as 100, 150 feet in search of mysis shrimp. So this fish came out of, had the downrigger right around 55, 60. Nice size kokanee. This first fish in the boat. Now, that is a beast too. Look at that thing. That's a tank. Awesome. So here you can see the dodger. It's based on a chub blank. And there's the kokanee. It hit a wintergreen squid that will come as part of the 3-pack with this one. And I actually threw a moon jelly brass blade on the front of that one, since I tend to do better with higher action lures on those deeper water fish. All right, let's get this guy on ice. All right, there's first fish of the day. Beautiful. That's on Twilight Zone and wintergreen glow squid. Yeah, so I got here this morning and I've been trolling for about 45 minutes, and I was going through fish with just the plain squids, but I've oftentimes had to switch up to spinners, so I've been tying up some of these glow squids with blades on the front, which I think is always a good idea to diversify your presentations, and I just tend to do better with those high action presentations this time of year, especially when fishing very deep like these fish are. So some of these fish are actually going below the thermocline, and the reason that they are probably doing that in this lake is there's probably some sort of food resource down there that they are targeting. Last week I was at Wallowa and the fishing was tough. I caught a few fish on the Twilight Zone, but those fish that were being caught were stuffed with freshwater shrimp. So I think they were just pursuing those shrimp at depth. I was even marking some of those, like, I guess you'd call them shoals or schools of shrimp. So Twilight Zone is based on J&K's chub blank, which is one of my favorite blanks of all time now. It's a very productive dodger blank. It's got a very wide, slow wobble, which is what I prefer when targeting fish at extreme depth for a couple reasons. Oftentimes because when fish are feeding deep, water temperatures are colder. They're not necessarily going to be in that ideal kokanee temperature. So oftentimes they're going to be feeding in, you know, something from like 48 to 51, 52 degrees. So it's quite a bit colder. I even noticed with that fish when I brought him up, his body was very cold. So he's definitely feeding in very cold water, which means the meat's going to be really great quality. Oh, there's fish. So as I was saying, when you get down to those depths, when you're at 50 feet or lower, or deeper, I should say, the amount of available light really declines. And the nature of that light, so that light becomes much more dominated by green, purple, and blue, which is why I have a green and purple fluorescent, UV fluorescent dot in the middle, kind of like the superficial. But the base of this is an all glow moon jelly, so that'll help to generate a little bit of light in those low light situations, especially if you're fishing really deep. Whew, just pulling some line. So you can charge that thing up if you're fishing, you know, early dawn hours. But even if you're fishing in the middle of the day, if you're going 100 feet deep in a lake, it's worth charging up that glow. Okay. Come on. Got him all wrapped up. Here we go. Nice. Second one of the day. Had 4 bites on the downrigger today. Just one of those days where I think the downrigger is going to do better than the snap weights. There always seems to be one or the other. Rarely both. So with that glow moon jelly on here, you know, you can charge that up. You're going to be pumping out a lot of light, but just also a lot of reflectance as well. And you can see that bright purple and green dot there. And today, the green has been the color. Like, they have not been interested in anything else but green. And that's a pretty common thing for me to encounter when I'm fishing really deep. Another thing you'll notice I'm doing here is I'm fishing a max flashlight off the downrigger. And that's just to add a little bit more attraction, but also to excite their lateral lines. You know, when you're at those depths, they're going to not just be relying on vision, they're going to be cluing in on their senses from vibrations in the water, and they detect those using their lateral lines. This leader's pretty knocked up, but that leader's getting a little rough, but hopefully it'll survive another fish or two. I'm running this pretty tight to the downrigger because I want that contributive impact of the downrigger ball attracting fish as well as the lake troll. A lot of fish stacked up at 58, 59 feet, just a few feet off the bottom. I'm going to try and put that downrigger right on their nose. I've even seen some fish going like from 40 feet down to 60 feet. They can sense the vibration from all those, the dodger and that lake troll all working together down there, and the downrigger ball plowing through the water. They're going down there to investigate, check it out. It's gonna be one of them days where it's like everything's getting caught on one rod, one lure, and you can't figure out why the other ones won't get hit. It's the most annoying thing ever. You replicate it as best you can. It still doesn't make a difference. It's the magic rod. Yeah, right now I have a fish at 35, a fish at 40, 45, a fish at 55, a fish at 60. It's like, which one do I target? Oh, here's one. That was a fish at 50 on the downrigger. Well, Twilight Zone is pulling them up from the Twilight Zone, even though I don't have to work at it. That's a nice fish. It's a big kokanee. Come here, bud. Gosh, that's a toad. That's a toad. It's easily 16, 17. Nice. That's a really nice fish. Look at that. The junk. Would love to get one on the snap weights so I can feel like I'm actually fishing with 2 rods instead of fishing with just 1. So this is this wintergreen squid and the Bronco are both heavily flaked. So the wintergreen has gold flake and the Bronco has a mix, but there's some orange flake and I think silver flake in there. But both of these glow really strongly. That's part of the reason I think it's really good that we give you guys these squids unrigged, because then you can put, you know, blades on them or whatever you want to do. Right now, something's got to twist or wiggle or move or something to get them to hit. It's just kind of how it is. Oh, there was a bite. Or maybe I just tapped the bottom. No, I didn't tap the bottom. That was a bite. Seems like I've been doing better, a little bit upper end of troll speeds, 1.4, 1.5, even a little bit faster than 1.5. Seems to have been better today. Oh, I finally got one on snap weight. Here we go. On the turn. Had 4 ounces of lead. 100 feet out. Only clipped like 10, 15 feet from the dodger, because I wanted it to kind of go up and down through the water column a little more. Good looking kokanee. Oh, don't do that. Stay down, stay down, stay down. Alright. Got him lassoed around the gill plate. Yeah, he's in the boat. Number 4. Cool, got one on Bronco. That's awesome. They always do that. They hit, they run forward, and then it gets wrapped around their gill plate. And they come in like a giant cut plug. Oh, there's one. Got a double going. End of the day, that'd be nice. Get them both in the net. Twilight Zone bite, midday. Go figure. Alright. See if we can get 2 in the net. Oh jeez, Tyler. Get him in there. I don't know how I did that, but I got like one pancaked. And the other's like wrapped. So I'm gonna just do this if I don't lose them both. Whew, that was fun. Nice. 2 in the boat, and he is off, which is what I was worried about. It's always chaos for the end of the day for the 5 fish limit. Why can't my videos just end peacefully? You know? Why does there have to be chaos? Kokanee chaos. Alright, there's that tuffle to end the day. That's great. Really nice quality fish. This one here it's really got a lot of thickness to him, a lot of girth. Put links to the Dodger and squid setups below. They're going to have some of the previous releases available too, so you might be able to get your hands on Goldilocks and Superficial. And I think next week then they'll be releasing some more of the J&K edition Dodgers. So just follow that link below and just try and keep your purchases just to one setup so other folks can have a chance at getting them too. And there'll be further chances down the line to get more Spilt Milt limited edition Dodgers. There's one more set of Dodgers coming. This one's going to be more of a seasonal one that's really focused on late season Kokanee, but the first three, Superficial, Goldilocks, and now Twilight Zone, those three are really focused on targeting Kokanee at those different depths, from starting at the surface down to 100+ foot. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye, guys.